Definitely cold and icy. They don't call it Iceland for no reason.
So this first series of photos is pretty much just our layovers. We flew from BWI into Iceland, Reykjavik, and then we flew into Copenhagen, Denmark. And after that, then we finally flew into Athens. So I was just really surprised at the quality of the airports. You know, when you're flying international, you just never know what the airports are gonna look like. But both Iceland and Copenhagen had really nice airports. Bathrooms were a little dicey, but in general, the airports were pretty good. This is us finally arriving into Athens itself. And we stayed right in downtown Athens in a nice Airbnb. As you can see, there are a lot of people walking up and down the street, and we stayed in a spot where there was a lot of different shops and different places to go and, you know, eat and just do different things. So this is us just kind of walking around, exploring. We had a nice lunch here. I had a pork shank with some mashed potatoes. I can't remember exactly what Reagan had. This is pretty much a few feet away from where we were staying, and you'll see some shots of that later where they were having like a party, and, you know, they were just kind of just having fun dancing and listening to music. This was a really nice shop that Reagan liked. They had some jewelry that kind of caught our eye, so we decided to go in, and they had a really nice attendant that was helping us out. And as you can see, it says Santorini. At the end of this trip, we actually were here to go to Santorini, and they had shops in Santorini, Athens, and a few other places throughout Greece. This was not necessarily in downtown Greece where we were staying at, but it was kind of close to the Acropolis Museum. And it was just shops. I'd never seen a wall full of different olives. This is just a nice view. As you can see, it's the Acropolis Museum right here, and we just decided to take some pictures underneath that sign. One of the most interesting things about Greece in general is that there are just so many ancient ruins that are like literally right near you at all the time. And you know, these structures are thousands of years old, and like you can literally just, like, you can't touch them, but you know, they're so close, and you just have to kind of put it in a perspective that thousands of years ago, people were living there or dwelling in there. Like, these are not new buildings by any stretch of the imagination. And it kind of makes you respect the build quality and just the ingenuity of people in the past, that they could create something that would last so long that we could still see these structures, and some of them are still intact. These are another set of ruins. I wish I could give you the exact names. Some of them I remembered, and some of them I don't. I can give you more specific names when we get to the Acropolis. This is us pretty much just walking around downtown and just seeing what we can see. Like, it was really exciting. As you can see, there's a lot of traffic. It kind of reminded me of a New York City type of vibe. And if you've been to a few different cities throughout the world, then you know that cities all have common attributes. Here you can see some kitties just kind of hanging out. You see a lot of stray cats, and animals here kind of have a different vibe than in America. Like, they'll walk up to you and they're just acting like they don't even see you. Like right here, pigeons. Like where I'm from in Baltimore, birds, when they see people, they run away. But here, when birds see people, they just hang out. They act like you're not even there. So this was a nice park that we were walking through. As you can see, those are some beautiful flowers, nice waterfall, more birds that were just not paying us any attention. That's probably the only bird I've seen fly off. This video, or this portion right here, was really interesting to me because this is a bath house. So if you know anything about ancient history, whether it's Greeks or Romans, then you've heard about bathhouses and how people would basically use these communal bathing structures. So basically I got to see one of those up close. It was a lot smaller than I thought it would be, but it was really interesting. I think that that's the statue of Alexander the Great. They have Mercedes that serve as taxis, which is really interesting. So this is us just probably walking around doing some shopping. As you know, if you have a wife or a girlfriend or a woman in your life, women are always going to find an opportunity to do some shopping and spend a little money. So we just went in this Mac store. My wife didn't actually buy anything, but in the next set of photos, you'll see we went into a custom fragrance shop where she got to actually pick her own fragrances and make her own perfume. It's called Mead. She bought 3 bottles of it.
It's the concert.
Pernah pusta party in my big place. I want some more in a big place.
So one of the things that really surprised me about Athens was the amount of graffiti pieces that I saw sprinkled throughout the entire city. Like, it was kind of everywhere. And there's some like tags and like faces that you see that are recurring. And it's like this one white face, him right there, he's everywhere. If anybody knows who that is, please post it in the comments. So I thought it was really interesting because I just didn't expect to see that in Greece. Another kitty here just walking amongst the people. This was a nice bar we went to that had amazing views. We didn't stay here for very long because it was actually really cold up there, but we sat and had a drink and just enjoyed ourselves. There were some structures off in the distance that you could see, like mountains and other ancient structures that they had lit up that were really nice to look at. I wish that we could have went up there, but we didn't. But it was nice to just be there and enjoy the ambiance. There's that face again. If anybody knows who that is, please put it in the comments. This is us just kind of walking around. We found a nice bar called the Haircuts, and we went there like 3 times in 2 days. We were just drinking. This was a dude who had on a Wu-Tang Clan shirt. So this is us at the Acropolis. So the Acropolis was a city in ancient Greece, and I can't remember exactly what the purpose was, but it was basically people stayed there who were of certain stature. And as you can see, a lot of these buildings were used for specific like rituals, or they were used as temples. And when they were conquered by other ethnicities or other cultures, those people converted these structures and used them as churches or mosques, depending on who was in power at that time. And there are actually documented cases where people came in and stole their artifacts. Like, they still have artifacts that are in a museum in Great Britain. That's a theater where you had to actually have your name inscribed into the seat, so no one could just come in and just sit in your seat. And that was one of the patrons of the theater. I don't remember his name. These are just random rocks that you see. It was just interesting to see, like, that these things are extremely old, so that's why they're keeping it.
I was waiting for the resolution, the resolve. I can hear the cool.
So this is that same night we went out. We're back at that bar again, and we were just walking around at this point, just enjoying ourselves. We went out and had some dinner, and we kind of tried to do it a little upscale this evening. That's a nice basilica or church they had there. I don't know what saint that is. This is the next morning when we're about to leave. These are people we met, Byron, aka Byron, and Charlotte at the haircuts, and they were really cool, really nice people, so we decided to take a picture of them. This is us heading to Santorini, and I was surprised that I didn't see a lot of tributes to Giannis. Like, I expected to see more of him, but we finally saw some on the way out. This is us finally getting to Santorini, so we spent those 2 days in Athens, had a great time, and now we're here at New Santorini, which is the resort that we stayed at, which was so beautiful. As you can see, they had like this running waterfall that was on the walkway as you come into the entrance of the resort. And it was just really nice ambiance. And at nighttime, that's all lit up. You'll see I have a selfie in there. This is us walking to get some lunch. It was really a great place to stay. They had delicious food. You could get room service. You could go to the restaurant that they had there on site, and it was really good. The service was off the charts.
All right, we about to make a quick toast. All right, this is the meet and greet. This is the first and last meet and greet that we ever going to have. And this is to the bride and groom.
Yeah.
Toast to Thompson. Toast to Thompson.
Turn up the Thompson.
Yeah, so this is the reason why we're in Greece, and that's my wife. She made a friend. We're here because one of my friends from college named Rashawn, he actually is getting married, and him and his wife decided to do it in Greece, and we invited them to our wedding and they came, so we decided to go. And this is my wife testing her feet, testing the waters. We went out to this place called Two Brothers and we turned it all the way up. Was turned up as he should have been, man. You see, he taking his Don Julio to the head, and he gonna be standing on the tables in a second. But yeah, man, that's my boy. But Rashawn is really a genuine person, loyal, really one of my great friends that I done had around for years. We met in college playing music in the jazz band, and he really is a good musician, a good guy, and I'm just glad to have him around. And when you kind of have these experiences with people, it just lets you know, like, man, like, I really do have love for this man, and because otherwise I wouldn't have came all the way to Greece because this trip was expensive. but I don't regret it at all, and I'm really glad I did it. This is pictures of me and my wife. This is us at the venue for the wedding. And, you know, we were just there, just taking it all in. This is me, Vershawn, and James. That's the guy that I was in the band with. Ralph, I actually grew up with him, man. Like, it was so many wonderful things happened to me this weekend. And, you know, just let me know that I'm living my life right and doing the right things. This is Vershawn on his way, and his beautiful bride, Myrell, walking. And, you know, the wedding is always about the bride. But, you know, us as men, we understand that, and you know, we try to make it as special as we can for them. And I'm sure she felt like the most special woman in the world at that moment, because we were all fixated on her. And you know, it was just really happy. I was really happy for them. You know, I could tell that they belong together. And this is Vershawn and his brothers and his dad. His dad is an amazing dude. It helped me really understand why we're still friends and why we've been connected all these years. Because, you know, just because you know somebody don't mean that y'all gonna be friends. This is, you know, they did it big, man. They had fireworks, you know, pyrotechnics. It was really a great event. I really am glad me and my wife decided to come, because this was an investment. You know, we had to really plan and make sure that we took off work and just really come out and make this a thing. But it was one of the best decisions I think we made, and it helped us solidify our relationship, because we got to do this as husband and wife, and we got to see them, Myrell and Vershawn, become husband and wife. And when you see people get married, it kind of does something to you. These are two kids just dancing, being the cutest thing you could imagine. Next day, we actually got on a yacht and went out on the water. Now, everybody had a good time. For me, I didn't have such a great time. I was experiencing some motion sickness, so I was actually feeling pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I tried everything. I took some Dramamine, drank a soda. Finally, there was a lady on there. She had these things called C-bands. And when I put them on my wrists, oh my gosh, I felt better instantly. So if you're a person who experiences motion sickness, I suggest and recommend that you go get yourself some C-bands. And this is me just kind of looking at the coastline. It was just crazy to see that people live right there on the coast and they build those houses right there. And that kind of reminded me of certain places in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro when I went there, how they build like that. This is us actually the last night. And yeah, this is the ambience, that same entrance, but at nighttime. So we went to one more club, Enigma. Me and Reagan, we're about to get on a plane in a couple of hours. So we just decided to go turn up and like turn and burn. Basically, we gotta go have a good time. And then as soon as we get back to the hotel, we're leaving to go to the airport and then get on a plane. No sleep. So, you know, this is us taking our last shots. And, you know, Rashad, next thing you know, he's on the floor grooving, doing his thing. And, you know, we had a great time, man. Like, this was really, really an enjoyable experience. This was a friend I met, Anton. This is actually us back in Copenhagen, headed back home. Iceland Air, headed back to America after an amazing trip. So I really, really enjoyed Greece, enjoyed Santorini. So this was the graffiti feature that I promised you. And it's just basically just different shots throughout Athens of various pieces that I saw, I thought were interesting, things that caught my eye. It was just crazy to me that it was everywhere, like literally. You could not turn your head to any one part of the city without seeing graffiti. And that's that dude that keeps popping up. It was like kind of creepy after a certain point, because it's like, why is it the same face everywhere? And there's no name, no like words, nothing that you can attribute to the face. It's just a face. That reminds me of a shirt I had. I thought that was really artistic, just that face that they had right there. And so it just makes you feel like, you know, Athens is the hood, man. Like there's certain parts of Athens that are like the hood, because if people can just walk around and just tag at like that, like this is like crazy. Like look at that. Like it is amazing that like there were walls full. Like how did somebody get up there? Did they stand on a ladder? Like that means that people are letting them do this, and they're aware that they're putting these pieces on the wall, and it's just a city where they allow people to put their art in public. And I thought that was really interesting, because even in America, like, I ain't gonna say it's frowned upon, but you can't just freely put your graffiti everywhere. They'll paint over it, but it was none of that happening here. So this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it and got a glimpse of what it's like to go to Athens and Santorini. Peace out. This is Vito Cash. I shot, produced the music, and edited this video. My wife helped me. She took some of the pictures. And we really had a great time. So if you've been thinking about going to Greece, hope this video will help you. Peace out. Oh man, Rashawn was turned